Cain Velasquez took matters into his own hands and now faces up to 5 years in prison. The former MMA fighter has been charged with attempted murder against a man accused of sexually assaulting his 4-year-old child. You may know Cain Velasquez as a dominant force in mixed martial arts. Competing in the UFC, he made history in 2010 by defeating Brock Lesnar to become the UFC heavyweight champion. Over his career, he secured the championship twice and cemented himself as one of the greatest heavyweights in MMA history. Following his retirement from the sport in 2019, Velasquez transitioned into professional wrestling, forming for promotions like AAA and WWE. But now, his entire career is on hold. Like any parent, Velasquez and his partner entrusted their young child to a daycare centre, believing he would be safe. Tragically, that trust was shattered. Reports surfaced that their son had allegedly been molested multiple times at the facility, which was operated by the mother of the accused, Harry Eugene Gallart. Authorities investigated Gallart, leading to his arrest on February 25, 2022. However, just 3 days later, on February 28th, he was released on bail, despite the prosecution's objections. The pain and trauma endured by Velasquez, his son, and their entire family must have been unbearable. But, hearing that Gallart was walking free, that made Velasquez see red like never before. Fueled by rage and a sense of injustice, Velasquez got into his car and pursued a vehicle carrying Gallart, along with his mother and stepfather. What followed was an 11-mile high-speed chase across 3 Silicon Valley cities. Velasquez, armed with a .40 caliber handgun, fired multiple rounds at the vehicle, determined to end Gallart himself. As the victims attempted to flee, Velasquez rammed their car and continued shooting. Gallart's stepfather, Paul Bender, was struck in both the torso and arm, severing a major artery. He was rushed to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, while Velasquez was swiftly arrested. District Attorney Jeff Rosen condemned Velasquez's actions, stating, "One man's decision to take the law into his own hands left an innocent man wounded and endangered school children, teachers, and many others in our community. If you want to do justice in Santa Clara County, please apply for a badge." Velasquez was charged with multiple offences, including attempted murder, shooting into an occupied motor vehicle, assault with a firearm, and assault with a deadly weapon. Denied bail multiple times, prosecutors argued that Velasquez's actions showed a reckless disregard for public safety. However, the MMA community and fans worldwide rallied behind him. UFC President Dana White, Khabib, Joe Rogan, and countless others publicly supported Velasquez, arguing that his actions, while extreme, were understandable. The hashtag #FreeCain movement gained significant traction online. After spending over 8 months in custody, Velasquez was finally granted bail on November 8, 2002, set at $1 million. As part of his release conditions, he was placed under GPS monitoring, ordered to stay away from Gallart and his family, and required to undergo outpatient treatment for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, better known as CTE, a degenerative brain disease often linked to repeated head trauma. His attorneys argued that past concussions and a potential CTE diagnosis impaired his ability to control his impulses. In August 2022, Velasquez pleaded no contest to all charges. As a result, premeditated attempt murder charges were dropped, sparing him from potential life sentence. In the lead up to his trial, he appeared on his former teammate Carl Kingsbury's podcast, openly admitting, "The way I handled it was not the way to do it." On March 24, 2025, Cain Velasquez was officially sentenced to 5 years in prison, but will receive credit for time served. This means he could be released as early as 2026. His defense attorney, Rennie Hesling, described the outcome as bittersweet, stating, "Cain has shown courage and strength of character throughout this whole ordeal. He has taken responsibility for his actions and has been held accountable. The sentence handed down today reflects the complexities of the situation and acknowledges the man behind the headlines." Meanwhile, Harry Gallart still faces pending felony child molestation charges. Shockingly, he was released from custody under a supervised recognition program with GPS monitoring, despite the district attorney's objections. Cain Velasquez has admitted his actions weren't the right approach, but can you really blame him? As a father, he acted out of love and desperation. No parent should ever have to experience such horror, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone watching this. Unfortunately, the world is full of monsters, and justice doesn't always come swiftly. If Galar is found guilty, I hope he faces the maximum penalty. People like him do not deserve freedom. I just hope the legal system does what it should, so that no other parent has to make the same decision Cain Velasquez did.